All right, guys, welcome to Wayne's World Garage. Guess what? Happy hump day. We're at the sawmill. We've got some stuff to cut. We got to cut more birdhouse boards for the guys from the woodshop. Fortunately, we've got this big poplar, a BAP. Here's what this thing looks like. And it says 1x6s, but we're going to cut 1x10s out of it. And before we saw him, I'm going to saw him in half with my chainsaw to make him a little bit easier. He's a 16-footer. This is one that Alan and I dragged out a little while ago. So we'll get cracking. We're going to cut him in half, mostly in half. Finish cutting him when we get him on the sawmill, and then we'll be good to go. We cut Doug's ash last week. Since we cut Doug's ash, we dulled out our saw. So hopefully Dr. Tom will be here, and Tom can finish that. We also take a look at the buildup on here. There's some buildup. Not a lot. A little bit of buildup. So we're going to clean up our saw a little bit. But we'll get Tom to get cracking on that guy and see how it looks. It actually looks like, yeah, there's a little bit of buildup. There's not a lot, but we'll clean it off. Maybe we will. At least we'll sharpen it. All right, check this out. Dr. Tom's sharpening this thing. It'll be sharp as can be. You are the expert at this now, huh?
I don't know about that.
No, well, I'll tell you what. You do a nice job of filing them. And you're just doing it until the darkness goes away.
Yeah, but that one's still got some dark.
A little bit. But I'll tell you what, it's chainsaw sharp right now. Nicely done. Tom's got this 48-inch saw sharp as can be. He's really great with a file. And if anybody knows anything about filing, it takes a lot of practice to be good at it. Clearly, he's had plenty of practice. Now what we're going to do, after the fiasco a couple weeks ago of fighting with that 17-foot log, trying to roll that thing, we realized the guys who want these boards only want 8-foot boards. And I've got a 17-foot log. So I'm going to cut it at 8 foot 6 inches. The trick here, though, is, as you can see, on our rail, we've only got 3 supports for it. So if I cut it in half, it's going to fall my big toe and it'll hurt. Or maybe Alan's big toe. Regardless, it's going to hurt. So what we're going to do is I cut it part way through, then we roll it onto the carriage. And then I'll cut it the rest of the way through, with any luck, without cutting the carriage and destroying my chain. Let's see how that works out. So what just for safety, guys, what I do is when we're working on it and Tom's sharpening this thing, I just push this in. All right. Just so nobody accidentally starts up the frickin' saw.
Yeah.
The frick. We're getting ready to start things up, but I look down towards the offload end, make sure I get a thumbs up from them, look down at the roller end, make sure I get a thumbs up from them, and then we can start the saw spinning, and we're ready to rock and roll. This stick isn't too big, but it's bigger than our 48-inch diameter saw will do in one pass. And we learned from our mistakes. This time we're going to slice it into little pencil cuts. So we're going to take a little bit at a time off, maybe an inch, inch and a half, until we get it down to a decent sized cant that we can handle. Clearly, cutting it when it's way too big, getting the chainsaw out is just a real nuisance, a lot of extra work, and not fun to do. So we're going to try doing a little bit better this time. As you can see, this blade would come up a little bit short if I tried to take off too much slab at one time. So we're getting smarter, especially with this new roller. We'll take a little bit at a time off, just slice, slice, roll it, slice, slice, roll it. And that works out really nicely. I don't know what you all do for fun, but for us, this is a lot of fun. And for me, it's great fun seeing everyone work well as a team. Alan here is on the controls. I'm like doing nothing. And Matt's rolling this log with a hook on it. So he's rehooking it, and we'll hook it a couple times. And what we'll do is we'll get the flat spot down bottom, saw it a couple more times, repeat the process several times, and then on with the program. The nice thing is, with this log roller, this is easy to do. We'd be sweating our tails off otherwise. So now what am I doing? The guys at the wood shop wanted basically 3/4 inch pieces of wood, 10-inch diameter, 10-inch wide. So 3/4 by 10. So I'm just double checking that the set works are set them right, and we're going to be cutting 3/4 inch pieces, and that's perfect. What we're doing here, it may not be obvious, is we've learned, and you guys made some great comments, this log, as we roll it, sometimes tends to roll a little bit towards us. And like I said, I don't want to hit Alan's big toe or Matt's big finger. So we try and put a chock there, at least to prevent it from rolling a little bit. The problem is we oil the knees. And by oiling the knees, or the head blocks, the chock doesn't fit very well. Regardless, we'll get it done, and we'll try and be safer each time. As you can see, the saw is cutting through about as much of the log as we possibly can. So do I do a little bit more, or do we decide to roll it? Let's see. I guess I'm going to do a little bit more, but not a whole lot. We'll do another 3/4 of an inch maybe, just a little bit. And you see it's getting kind of tight. We don't have to get back to the chainsaw where we have to chainsaw it through. That is just a big headache. So I'm going to pull it back now. Matt, Alan, and maybe me. We're going to roll this thing flat and roll it one more time. We're finally getting to a manageable size log here. And as you can see, our 48-inch diameter saw blade will cut through this entire log now with one pass, without having to take out this tiny 170 steel chainsaw and top the top off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to scratch our heads. We're going to take the bark off this guy. We're going to debark it. And then we're going to figure out, since these guys want 10-inch boards, how to cut a big 10-inch cant and push that thing back without dropping it on Alan's and Matt's toes. We don't normally cut 10-inch wide boards, and our little measure which we have to measure the size of the cant is calibrated up to 6 inches. But then we've got slash for 8 inches and 10 inches, which my wife Paula was kind enough to paint up the little sign thing for us. It's spot on. This is exactly 10 inches. That's exactly what these guys want. Happy birdhouse making, guys. So that big cant that we just dropped, it says 1x6 upside down on it, is actually a 10-inch cant. This other one is close to, I think it's 8 inches, and the guys want some 8-inch boards. So we're going to be cutting 3/4 by 10-inch boards, 3/4 by 8-inch boards, and cranking these guys through. So we'll take this guy and knock him over. Now, interesting, this wood is not as solid as it could be all the way through. The trees only came down maybe a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Alan and I dragged them out recently, but it's time to get rid of these guys, get them out of the woods, and get them to the sawmill, get them cut up before they go bad. So now this is the easy part. And Wayno's going to shut his pie hole for the rest of this because we've got 2 nice cants. And all we got to do is keep pulling the stick forward and back, making sure it don't hit anybody, and cutting boards out of it. And we get some nice boards for these guys. So we're going to start with these 8-inch boards. Then Matt and I are going to move the other cant on it. We'll get 10-inch boards. Then it'll be happy days. Well, they wanted 8 or 10 boards, and I think we've overachieved there. We probably gave them a few more than that. But now we're going to cut them some 1x4s because they want some 1x4s. It's a nice poplar, saw is running well, and let's get her done. Okay, well, that's the first log for the day. And you say, well, Wayno's done sawing for now. Well, Wayno is done sawing because Doug's going to saw the next log. But we've got a special treat after that. And after that, we're going to put one of the cypress logs on there, and we're going to saw that and see what this cypress looks like. You all may recall, Al and I snagged a cypress from our tree guy, maybe 6 weeks ago. Cypress usually grows in swamps around here. We're south of the Mason-Dixon line. And cypress is apparently one of the most rot-resistant woods around. It's a pine-ish type wood. It's like pine. There's a lot of branches on it and stuff, so there's a lot of knots in it. So check out the video. Be coming out the next day or two, and give me some comments on that also. But we're going to saw the cypress after we get done sawing this poplar. Thanks so much for watching. Do me a favor, please subscribe. Take care, and you guys have a great day.